competition Chris Nicholl enjoys, as well as his cup final exploits. In his time at Southampton, he took the Saints to a semi-final and 3 quarter-finals in this competition, and on being appointed at Walsall on the morning of the first leg of this tie, saw his side promptly get a 2-1 victory over West Ham. It's a West Ham side that knows it's going to be tough. Tonight they're without Alvin Martin at the centre of the defence. Adrian Whitbread, formerly at Swindon, gets his first start. Matthew Rush has gone down with a virus tonight. Ian Bishop replaces him, and Tony Cottee is still suspended. Walsall, meanwhile, without the experienced Colin Gibson, who's injured, and Scott Houghton, who's cup-tied. Charlie Palmer returns to their defence, and David Mayhew to the midfield. Former Palace man Martin O'Connor is their skipper, and Kevin Wilson, over 150 league games for Chelsea, is a striker alongside the dangerous Kyle Lightbourne. Our referee tonight, John Holbrook from Ludlow. And where is there no building work going on these days around our football grounds? Here the old North Bank has gone, and a fine new stand rapidly is taking shape. They say it's going to be ready by Christmas. And a change of sports for the man with a moustache. Dedicated Hammers fan Graham Gooch. Good to see him here tonight. So it's Walsall in the red, white and black strip. We kick off attacking the goal to our left. And what a good spell they're having since the arrival of Chris Nicholl. And West Ham know it's going to be tough tonight. Harry Redknapp, their manager, saying that Walsall played really well in that first leg. And of course you only have to look back over your shoulders 24 hours to see what Mansfield did at Leeds and what a narrow streak Crystal Palace had against Lincoln. Here's Bishop in for Rush. Rowland up towards Lee Chapman. Wilson with a little touch there for the number 7 O'Connor. Marsh. Darren Rogers playing it down. Wilson. Quality player, Northern Ireland international, some 40 caps he's had. O'Connor looked as though he was going to shape up for a shot there, and West Ham needing to do a little bit of defending here, and Breaker then playing it long towards Hutchinson, who's caught offside. Redknapp, front of the picture there. Again up to Lightbourne, who's got terrific pace about him. His pass cut out there by Bishop. This time, as we well know, a wavery start to the season, but victories against Aston Villa, and a fine victory at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea on Sunday. Bishop with the free kick. Rowland had made a run down the left for him, but it's instead with Moncur. A little chip in by him, took a deflection. Lee Chapman trying to get on the end of this one, and across the face of that Walsall goal, so near to the opening goal that West Ham needed. Chapman doing very well there. The angle in the end was really too sharp for him. A strong challenge from Palmer. Narrowly missing the fast post. O'Connor. Whitbread with a header. Powerful one. Marsh. Breaker ever looking for that chance to get down that right touchline. Allen. Cross comes in. Chapman couldn't quite get the right angle on it, and it's a goal kick. Now by O'Connor. Here's Mike Marsh for West Ham. Down the line, getting Breaker into the action again. Whips his cross in, Palmer's there, putting it away behind for the corner. Moncur will take it. Marsh at the near post. Chapman also looking for that little flick on from the near post. Like that. Everybody waiting for somebody else. It was Hutchison who got there in the end. Rowland, who's got a terrific left foot on him. But also Watkins with a good clearance. Got up well for that one. Moncur just knocking it in again, and Martin Allen just over the top. One of West Ham's better moves, that one. Walsall have looked fairly confident and comfortable in defence for most of this first half. Moncur turning well here. Little cross in, and Martin Allen always likes to get into the box. That time the header was just too high. But the opportunities have been few and far between for West Ham so far. An outbreaker. Up goes Chapman, doing everything right, West Ham, until they get to the box, and they just can't find the pass or the bit of skill. It's going to find a goal for them. Whitbread getting back very quickly under a lot of pressure from Lightbourne. In the last minute of the first half. Rowland onto the unfavoured right foot that time. Connor to Mayhew. Wilson again. Oh, Lightbourne! Delayed his shot once, and right across the face of that goal. And that's the closest Walsall have been to a goal, and right on the stroke of half-time. They could have made life even more difficult for West Ham. Good work there by Kyle Lightbourne. A little dummy, and he held it up well. Wilson inevitably had a part to play in it. Lightbourne then slipping it across the face of the goal. There were two players there, but neither from Walsall could put it in. Up goes Bishop. Marsh. And he and Moncur getting in each other's way. Worth chasing the keeper. And Marsh at least forces him to put it into touch. And really it's all about tempo now as far as West Ham. They've got to keep a high tempo game, try and panic an error out of Walsall, but also remain really secure at the back. And I think it's Kevin Wilson who's down, and the Walsall players a little agitated. And I think John Moncur, is it John Moncur who's got a problem? As he goes in there on Wilson, catches him late. That's going to be a yellow card for the West Ham number 10. Free kick then to Walsall. Rogers with it. Whitbread getting behind this one. Oh, ducks underneath it. And Lightbourne has a brilliant opportunity there for making the cup tie almost safe for Walsall. A mistake by Whitbread allowed it to go. Lightbourne snatched at his shots, and West Ham are saved. In goes Rowland. Here's Bishop. West Ham, that's a good ball by Bishop. Allen chasing this one. Palmer started to come and then held off. There's his cross. Moncur playing it on! And West Ham, through Don Hutchison, have got level on aggregate. They've had a lot of pressure, but not really a cutting edge. And you always felt that Martin Allen would be at the root of it somewhere. Touched on there and finally knocked into the nets by Don Hutchison. His contribution has been quite marked. A little flick on there by Moncur and finished off by Hutchison, and West Ham start to breathe again. Hutchison, the little ball. Rowland trying to keep it going. Chapman getting involved as well. It'll come to Bishop with it. No. Lightbourne. O'Connor's down injured at the moment, but it's West Ham on the attack with John Moncur. There's his cross. Hutchison, well, he didn't really get a firm touch on that one. Skated across that 6-yard area. Chapman couldn't quite get in on it on the far post. But they're beginning to make the odd half chance now, and this was perhaps a bit more than that. Good play by John Moncur. Turned his man beautifully, gets his cross in, but Hutchison didn't really get a firm touch on it with his head. Hutchison. And too high that time by Bishop. But they're really beginning to turn the screw now, West Ham. The last quarter of an hour or so, they've really started to carry this fight to Walsall. They've got the goal that mattered. They're looking now for a second one that would settle it without extra time. Bishop wide of the mark that time. Here's Breaker. Allen. Moncur. Oh, that's a lovely bit of play by Moncur. Terrific shot by him. And it went straight at the keeper. Super bit of skill though by Moncur. Killed that ball superbly. Took it nicely into his path onto the left foot. Hit a powerful shot straight at Trevor Wood. Wilson. Still everything hanging on this cup tie. The break is on again. O'Connor playing it in. Wilson couldn't quite get onto it. Mayhew! That was a great chance for Walsall. So within 30 seconds we could have had a goal at both ends. Good play here by Martin O'Connor. Plays it in. Wilson couldn't quite get to it. Mayhew hitting it over the crossbar. West Ham's goal kick. Touched on by Hutchison. Palmer gets it back to his keeper. Rowland. Bishop. Rowland chasing. Chapman waiting in the middle there. It's a West Ham throw. That's a good shot, punched away. Chapman gets it in, knocked in though. And an offside flag. An offside flag. And the linesman and the referee right bang on the spot. And my feeling is there might even have been 2 players offside. Terrific shot here by Breaker. Knocked away. You see Martin Allen plays it in, but he's clearly in an offside position. Steve Potts puts it away to touch. Wilson again. Got to hold him up. Crossed in. Knocked away. Mayhew gets it across. My goodness, that was so close to what would have been a clinching goal for Walsall. Mayhew heading it across the face of the goal, and Breaker, I think in the end it was, who put it behind for the corner. They were in desperate trouble there, West Ham. There's Mayhew's header, and Breaker just getting in. Good jump by Whitbread. O'Connor. Rogers. Wilson's chasing again. But Potts did really well for West Ham when he was needed. So the whistle goes for the end of 90 minutes. We have extra time with the aggregate score at 2-2 after Don Hutchison's goal in the second half here has given West Ham a 1-0 victory tonight. 2-2 on aggregate. Here's extra time. Breaker. Hutchison. Allen. Driving forward again. Finding Rowland. Still carrying on with his run, but Rowland won't quite reach him with that chip. There's a little touch there by Moncur. And a shot against the post. And Moncur has scored a second one. And West Ham go into the lead in this tie now. 3-2 on aggregate. turned beautifully. Hutchison rattling the post. Moncur following it up. Beyond the dive of Wood. Well, he scored an important goal against Chelsea at the weekend. It's a really vital one here tonight. West Nickel knows that one goal, but at least at this stage, would still give them the chance of a penalty shootout. Goes Whitbread. Here's Marsh. I knew it was going to be tough, and it has been. Moncur's done well for West Ham, though. Crowd appreciated that. Breaker into Allen. Hutchison outside him. There he is. Finds Bishop. In turn finds Moncur. A little chip by him. Marsh is on the end of it. And it's another one. No, did he? No, miraculously that must have stayed out. Oh, that was incredible. It looked a certainty that Mike Marsh's shot had gone over the line. But the linesman was right on the spot. The referee looked at him. No goal. Well, West Ham still this one goal ahead, but they thought they'd got another one. When Marsh did so well, he lifted it over Wood's head. Went against the post and actually never crossed the line. Rowland. Bishop, Allen, is it out again to Keith Rowland, down the line to Moncur, Marsh, Hutchison, Hutchison's cross. Lee Chapman will get on the end of this one possibly. Oh, great save by Wood from Moncur. Some unselfish play there by Chapman as well. He set Moncur up brilliantly for that one. Excellent goalkeeping by Trevor Wood. Inside the last 2 minutes. Another good piece of play by the keeper there. Keeping Don Hutchison out, who caught that as it came over his shoulder on the volley. From Breaker's cross. There's Hutchison. An excellent piece of goalkeeping. Good pictures. The last seconds of extra time now. Oh, a lovely back heel by Hutchison. Martin Allen with Lee Chapman waiting in the middle. Goal kick. Chapman looking daggers. He made a terrific run. So too had Mike Marsh as it happened. But over the top it went. Goal kick for Walsall. We're playing time added on now at the end of this period of extra time. And West Ham just need to remain secure for a few more seconds to go into the draw for the next round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Potts. Rowland. Wilson. It's not a lot yet, he says, but now Potts takes that expertly off his foot. Referee looks at the watch. A lot of credit to Walsall. They've played really well here with a lot of defiance tonight. But the winners are West Ham. 2-0 on the night. Don Hutchison and John Moncur, their scorers. It means they win 3-2 in this Coca-Cola Cup tie on aggregate and go into the draw for the next round. The winners tonight are West Ham.
You admitted before the game that you were edgy. Is that a reflection of how important the Coca-Cola Cup is to the Hammers?
No, every game's important. You know, it's league games are very, very important. Coca-Cola Cup, FA Cup, all important. We want to stay in every competition. We want to win every game if we possibly can. So, yeah, they're not easy games. I think as a manager, these are the games. If you ask any manager, the games that you dread the most. You know, a Premier League side playing a lower division side. As I said before, I've been through it many times. I was at Bournemouth. You know, Man United, teams like Everton coming down to play us. You know, they're never easy. Look at last night. Look what happened to Leeds. We all dread that. You know, it's the worst possible games. These games are without a doubt. You know, you've got everything to lose and nothing to win. But I thought we did very well tonight. I was delighted with the performance.
West Ham through. Harry happy enough. But they made hard work of it.
I think relieved is the word you can use
sensed
there.
a bit of relief on him, I must say.
Oh, I think so. I mean, they're going to extra time, Bob. Of course it's relief. And as he says, he knows how hard it all is, the lower division clubs.
It could so easily, couldn't it, have been 3-1 on aggregate, because Walsall had such a good chance before the Hammers scored tonight.
Well, the Hammers started off badly, I thought, and this was a chance here for Lightbourne. And this lad he's from, is it Bermuda?
Bermudan international, yeah. He just pulled it totally.
Well, I mean, he just cut right across the ball there, you know.
But as so often happens, there's the chance for Walsall, glory, and within a minute and a half, suddenly West Ham are in there and they've got
well, we see that, I mean, that just happens so often in football. You're at one end, you miss the chance, the other side go down and bang, you know, you find yourself trailing. And this is Don Hutchison, who I think will be a very good buy for West Ham. You know, I always admired Hutchison's play when he was up on Merseyside. You know, I thought he was a boy with a lot of skill, good midfield player. And I know they've pushed him forward, haven't they, West Ham, because they had a few injuries. But
significant that John Moncur was in there on the end of Martin Allen's cross, because
he was on the end of everything tonight, wasn't he, Moncur?
Yes.
I thought, see, Moncur, who I saw play with Swindon, I thought he was a classy player, and couldn't believe that Tottenham Hotspur had let him go, because, you know, I thought this boy's got so much ability. And since he's come here, you know, he's been, look at the skill there, revelation. You know, lovely. He started the whole thing off there, and then followed in when the shot came off the post. There he was, knocking in the net, and that's the second time in 4 days he's got the winning goal for West Ham.
£850,000 he cost now in this crazy transfer spiralling system that we have. That's great value, isn't it?
I would say you would look at that fee and say we've got a bit of a snip here. This is a class player. West Ham player, you know.
Chris Nicholl, some hope for them, and what? Because they did really well.
Again, you've got to congratulate them. Yes, of course. Made a fight of it.
Okay, Ian. Well, coming up next, a trip to the south coast to see if the famous Pompey chimes were ringing out in celebration of a famous cup victory over Everton from the Premiership. See you again shortly. Welcome back. 2 weeks ago, Jim Smith's Portsmouth had Everton in total disarray after an hour of the first leg at Goodison. But then, 3-0 up, they let the Premiership side back in by conceding a couple of goals to set up an intriguing second leg tonight at Fratton Park. Some new faces for Everton this evening. Your commentator is Peter Brackley.
What a contrast tonight to the last visit of a Merseyside team 3 weeks ago. Little more than 6,000 watched Tranmere Rovers here. Now I would think there's well in excess of twice that number to see if Pompey can finish off the task they began so promisingly at Goodison Park. The excellent team news for Jim Smith is that Kit Simons, his most accomplished defender, has recovered from the back injury that threatened his place tonight. Robbie Pethick is preferred to Paul Hall, and both Benny Christensen and Darryl Powell are fit to return. Jerry Craney, the two-goal hero of the first leg, provides the main threat up front, of course, and he can expect vibrant support from former Evertonian Preki, who's eagerly waiting his chance to prove they were wrong to discard him. It's been a desperate start to the season for Everton, who are hoping that this man's arrival can help prompt a recovery. Duncan Ferguson, once Britain's most expensive player, has arrived on a 3-month loan from Glasgow Rangers. Another Ibrox man, Ian Durrant, has come with him, also on loan, but is only on the bench tonight, as Mike Walker opts for a line-up that includes Nigerian World Cup star Daniel Abakachi as Ferguson's partner up front. A highly charged atmosphere at Fratton Park. Taking the whistle tonight is Keith Cooper from Pontypridd. Everton then to kick off in a League Cup tie that's tipped Pompey's way from the first leg. Although Everton's late recovery at Goodison has certainly thrown them a lifeline. those 3 away goals for Portsmouth could prove a vital factor. This is Ian Snowden. It's Pethick firmly into the tackle then for Pompey. Played off then by Abakachi. And the free kick given to Portsmouth. Pompey, of course, who reached the 5th round last season before losing to Manchester United. This after United had knocked out Everton at the previous stage. A lot of pressure apparently on Mike Walker, the Everton manager. Certainly needs a good result tonight. Here's Ferguson. Played back by Hinchcliffe to David Burrows. Now Ferguson again. Abakachi. So sharp and so strong. Now Hinchcliffe. It's Parkinson trying to force his way through it. Stewart with a shot. It spins in, surely. Was it over the line? It's a corner. What an escape then for Portsmouth. Alan Knight scampering back and somehow managed to prevent the ball from going in, or did he? He was completely wrong-footed then and somehow kept it out. Tremendous save that by Knight. How did he get back? Satways with the corner. Really bright opening here by Everton. There's some pushing penalised by Keith Cooper. The Everton players appealing in vain that the ball had crossed the line. Not easy to see from my angle here. It certainly spun off the defender Gittins. Tremendous reactions by Alan Knight. Here's Preki, so anxious to impress tonight. He didn't have the pace in to get away from Burrows, although the Everton defender has been penalised. Preki, who started only 9 games for Everton last season, was on the bench a lot as well. Never felt he really had the chance to show what he could do. Christensen with the free kick. Now here's McLaughlin and Craney. Excellent move then by Portsmouth, and Jerry Craney almost finished off in style. McLaughlin, who pulled it back intelligently into his path. And that's how close it was then. Simons almost got a foot to it as well. Abakachi. By Samways. Hinchcliffe has kept it in. The linesman's flag has stayed down. Ferguson, Hinchcliffe again. Stewart and Abakachi in the middle. And Dobson having to hook it away for the corner. Retained his concentration then, Tony Dobson, with the menacing figure of Abakachi behind him. Unsworth and Watson have both come up for the kick. The threatening figure of Duncan Ferguson on the edge of the box. Samways with the corner. Watson's header! Everton have levelled the tie on aggregate. A really powerful header then by Dave Watson. Showing again his prowess in the air on these set pieces. A fierce header by Watson. 17 minutes gone. Alan Knight beaten. Everton take the lead on the night and square the tie. Really positive strike then by Dave Watson. Samways with the corner, and Knight can't reach it before Watson. Well, what relief for Mike Walker. His team in front in the second leg anyway. But remember, this is not enough for Everton to go on should this be the score at the end of extra time. But they are right back in this tie now. Abakachi, it's a glorious turn there. Looking to embarrass Portsmouth again. Ferguson. Hinchcliffe. This This is David Burrows. Away by Stimpson, only as far as Parkinson. Snowed in with a shot. Not a bad effort either by Ian Snowden. Hasn't scored yet for Everton this season, but then not too many of them have. That was not far away. Unsworth. Abakachi. Unsworth has continued his run through. In goes Abakachi again. Now Unsworth. Great save by Knight. David Unsworth, who linked up so well with his teammates there. And it was Knight to rescue his team once again. Abakachi, his sheer strength took him through then. Unsworth trying to guard it beyond Alan Knight. Unsworth has stayed up for the corner. That was Ferguson climbing high. All Knight's in trouble. Hinchcliffe now. Well, Knight was scrambling back into his 6-yard box. Reprieved by Craney's intervention. But they are finding the likes of Watson and Ferguson so hard to deal with in the air. More danger maybe awaits them now. Hinchcliffe with the corner this time. Unsworth, who pulled away, with Stewart. Now Samways. On towards Abakachi. And there'll be a goal kick. And some respite for Portsmouth. Abakachi, who soon won over the Everton fans by scoring on his home debut against Queen's Park Rangers. Away by Simons. A good positive jump though by Snowden. Now Abakachi's clear. Good save by Knight. Well, that's 3 occasions in this first half that Alan Knight has saved his team. Couldn't do anything about Dave Watson's header. But Abakachi, well, surely was favourite to score then. Knight coming up to close down the angle. Now Darryl Powell. Here's Precky. Powell again. Good flowing move this. Powell with a shot! Well, some really cohesive approach play then by Portsmouth. Darryl Powell very close then to finding an equaliser on the night. Now Powell. All Simons in difficulties. Ferguson. They've got 4 up in this attack, Everton. Abakachi now. Off the post from Stewart. Somehow Portsmouth survived. And another amazing let-off for them. Stewart the player denied this time by the post. Half-time whistle to signal Everton's re-emergence in this League Cup tie. The goal from Dave Watson, bringing them right back into it to level the aggregate scores at 3-3, and certainly but for Alan Knight, Everton could easily have scored further goals. Half-time at Pratton Park, Portsmouth 0, Everton 1. Jim Smith wants to pep up his team's attacking play in the second half, and Paul Hall has come on for the former Everton player, Precky. Portsmouth, who've had only 1 win at home in the league so far this season, and that on the opening day of the season. Abakachi. In by Stewart. Taking over then from Abakachi. Ferguson had made an angle run, hoping to set up some space for him. This is Craney. Now Stimpson. Certainly a big roar from the crowd when Hall's name was introduced by the public address. It's quite a favourite here. It can be inconsistent. Here's Christensen with the shot. And Southall nonchalantly watches it sail over the bar. Christensen, who scored in the first leg, as did the other man in the picture there, Vinnie Samways. Jim Smith now down on the bench. I think his team can at least protect the lead they have overall in terms of the aggregate score if it goes to extra time. Ferguson got away from Gittins there. And failing to link with Mokachi. Dobson to Hall, skipping the tackle of Snowden. Now what can Hall do here? Well, that's good covering by Parkinson. Got back really well. McLaughlin just managing to evade the tackle of Snowden. There's Craney. Foul inside him. Up goes the flag. But the Pompey fans beginning now to warm to their team's task. The Pompey chimes ringing around Fratton Park. Oh, there's a fabulous atmosphere tonight. And a cup tie that's really on a knife edge. Stimson just got the better then of Stewart. Here's Snowden. Parkinson. Ticket fierce cup tie. It's Stewart now for Everton. Samways threading it on for Burrows. Really good vision then by Vinnie Samways. And it's Gittins away for the corner. Taken quickly. Hinchcliffe. Simons and Watson. And the shot. Oh! Ferguson. And again, the reflexes of Alan Knight. Another spectacular stop. Ferguson this time. Hitting it first time on the volley. Pompey had some more defending to do now. It'll be Samways with the corner. Up by Simons. Tony Dobson. Collected by Hall. Now McLaughlin. Pethick. Offside Hall. Indignation being displayed by the Portsmouth fans and by Jim Smith down below me, but I'm sorry, Jim, you can't see any better than I can from here, and I can't tell. It's a poor header there by Dobson that might get punished. Simons can't clear it. Up goes Ferguson and Mokachi. Ferguson and Stewart. Ferguson now. Is that night again? Two opportunities now have come his way in the second half, Ferguson. And well, it's a very promising debut from him. A neat touch to set himself up for the shot. Halfway through the second half. Controlled by Powell. A clattering though from Watson. McLaughlin. This is Christensen trying to lose Samways. He's found Hall. Away from Stewart's tackle. Trying to curl it in the corner. Always going wide though. And the wily old fox Neville Southall will tell you he had it covered anyway. Typically tantalising run by Hall. Can't quite deliver the finish though. Samways. This is Stewart. Now Snowden. Dobson's header. Stewart. Goes Parkinson now. Amokachi. Good efforts. Agonisingly just past the post. Well, he grows in stature with every passing minute, this fellow. And he is destined to be a really firm favourite at Goodison Park. Well, Jim Smith knows it's looking more and more like extra time now. Mike Walker, well, he's seen his team show commendable commitment tonight. Powell's header. This is Hall. And a goal! Hall! The final minute. And Portsmouth are back in front. 1-1 on the night. 4-3. They lead on aggregate. And scenes of wild emotion now around Brackley Park. They've had so few opportunities tonight. And Paul Hall, who's been a revelation in the second half, with his pace and his jinking runs, has embarrassed Neville Southall through his legs. An important header won then by Powell. And the finish didn't look to be clinical enough by Hall. The last few seconds now. Paul Hall with his third goal of the season. Has he now earned his team a place in the next round? Simon's happy to pump it forward now in search of Hall. Away from Snowden. Hall again! Well, what a second half he has had. Just over the top. Everton now want to make a very, very late substitution. Paul Rideout coming on to replace Andy Hinchcliffe. Pompey, well, they'll just have to batten down the hatches now. Rideout back on duty after injury. Left on the bench because of the arrival of Ferguson. Well, that's it! Portsmouth have done it! Paul Hill is the hero. Everton had a number of chances and certainly seemed on top. They had the goal from Dave Watson, some outstanding saves by Alan Knight. And right at the last, Portsmouth have clinched it. Everton remain without a win this season. Their anguish continues. Celebrations at Brackley Park for Portsmouth. And for the match winner, Paul Hall. 1-1 on the night. But Pompey the winners by 4 goals to 3.
We rebuilding, you know, it doesn't suddenly go right overnight, and we're not having the rub of the green, that's a fact. And I'm not one that thinks that believes we're unlucky all the time, because you're not. But I think, you know, it's proved again tonight we aren't particularly having the rub of the green at the right time. But there's only one way, as I've said all along and said to the players, get out there and work. And they've done that tonight, and they've still got kicked in the teeth. So just going to have to keep going.
Well, to be fair to Mike Walker, Pompey manager Jim Smith has acknowledged that the better team lost, Ian.
Yes, I would say so. I think they had most of the play. But you've got to put the ball in the net, and I mean, Alan Knight was equal to everything they threw at him.
Can I say he's an Ian St John man? You bought him when you were manager of Portsmouth?
I signed him from school, yeah, he was a schoolboy, and he's been a wonderful servant for them. I mean, that's a great save, wasn't it? That was just a wonderful save. And how about this one as well? I mean, look at that. He gets his fingertips to it, knocks it onto the post. And yes, Pompey had the luck on the night. There's no two ways about it. Of course, he carried the luck. But let's put it this way, you know, this kid, Paul Hall, came on towards in the second half. And I mean, he really lit the thing up. He started making things happen down the left-hand side of the field. And I'm not too sure that Neville Southall there, Bob, as a goalkeeper yourself, would you say?
Well,
he was
very wide with his legs, Ian. I agree with you there. It's very difficult, you know, when it's drilled at you as close as that.
You goalkeepers always protecting each other.
Of course we do, yeah.
But let me say,
I didn't know you were such an expert on keepers with Alan.
Well, there you go. You see.
But listen, just very quickly, what now for Mike Walker? He's
talking a brave game. He's talking a brave game. But when he wakens up tomorrow morning, he's out the Coca-Cola Cup. He's at the bottom of the Premiership. So really, you know, the problems are mounting up for him.
Okay. Well, 10 second leg ties were played last night. Gabriel Clark looks back on some stirring action.
taking their lead from Trelleborg's part-timers who beat Blackburn, Mansfield Town completed their own two-leg mission impossible last night. Goalkeeper Darren Ward did the necessary when called upon, which wasn't as often as Mansfield had feared. Not even Colin Hoyle's sending off prevented Andy King's cut-price team protecting their lead for an amazing win. Not since Colchester 23 years ago have Leeds endured humiliation like it. It was all following the same script at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace were firing blanks. Then, 4 minutes into injury time, a panic-stricken Nigel Martin punts forward. Maybe Bruce Dyer handled, but this was a night when Palace got away with it. Left-back Dean Gordon gets up to head the most important goal of his professional career. And from then on, there was only one winner. 9 minutes into injury time, another supreme cross from John Solarco is given its crowning glory by Chris Armstrong, who'd almost forgotten what it was like to score. And the growing sense of relief helped Palace relax for the final few minutes and carve out a rather flattering third goal for Dyer. But all those at Selhurst Park won't forget last night in a hurry. Chelsea's progress was rather less stressful, but for an hour Bournemouth were just that single goal behind, and Dimitri Karin, nicknamed Zebedee by Glenn Hoddle, had to spring around his goal mouth. Then Nigel Spackman and Neil Shipperley worked the ball to Gavin Peacock, back at one of his old clubs, and his shot squeezes past Ian Andrews. 2-0 to Chelsea on aggregate. Millwall's first leg lead lasted until the second half at Roker Park, when Don Goodman's flick and Phil Gray's opportunism found a way past Casey Keller. But there wasn't the same uncertainty about Millwall that's infected their league form recently. John Goodman put Millwall back in front within 6 minutes, and they protected that lead with a resolve that will have greatly encouraged Mick McCarthy. Embarrassing and amateurish, that's how Ozzy Ardiles described Tottenham's defending. The Spurs fans had rather more colourful language for it at the end of a night that began with Colin Foster heading Watford in front. There were moments of that exhibition football that Jurgen Klinsmann inspires. Nicky Barmby was on the same wavelength to equalise. But for every bit of magic at one end, there seemed to be two mistakes at the other, especially when Spurs play at White Hart Lane. Early in the second half, another corner causes the sort of confusion it really had no right to. And after Ian Walker's excellent save, Lee Nogan pulls the aggregate score back to 7-5. Watford blew any chance they might have had with some sorry defending of their own. In swoops Barmby, and up in support, Klinsmann's fourth over the two legs and 11th of the season is pure class. If only they were half as confident defending. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 for Watford and Nogan. In a competition which represents Spurs' season, they're through to the third round, but the patience on the terraces and maybe in the boardroom is wearing very thin.
Yes, my word, they can thank Jurgen Klinsmann for 11 goals in 10 games. Thank goodness they're going in from him.
I'll tell you, I mean, it is incredible, isn't it? I mean, but his skill, he made one goal, scored another goal. I mean, it really is worth the money going to see him.
Plus, he does say it's unacceptable, that sort of defending.
Yeah, it's unacceptable, of course it is, you know, and I think he had him back for extra training, didn't he?
Did.
But yeah, but I hope he didn't take Klinsmann, because I think Klinsmann shouldn't mix with him too much. He might be demoralising those defenders there, you know, it's rated.
OK, still to come after the break, a roundup of some of this evening's other second leg ties, including another big shock. Welcome back. Now just sit back and enjoy some of the other action highlights from tonight's Coca-Cola ties. Gabriel Clark again.
Well, second division Brighton went to Leicester City a goal up. Commentary from Alan Parry.
Tuck, infield to Monday. Chance for a shot by him. And it's a terrific effort! Oh, what a goal from Stuart Monday! 16 minutes gone, and Brighton celebrate one of the strikes of the season by the 22-year-old who's never scored for them.
Well, there's not much you can say about this, is there? You can't fault anybody. It was just a wonderful strike. Bottom line to this is keeper's beautifully positioned. Just a wonderful goal.
Free kick played in towards Roberts. It's a good backhand, and then the shot by Joachim. So close to bringing Leicester level on the night. Instant reaction from Julian Joachim and from the goalkeeper. Now it breaks clear to McDougall, who held off his man well. And Nogan is up in support of him, and he's got round the challenge from Willis. Nogan's in a great position here, and he finds Nogan, and that's it. Breitner through, and they fully deserve it. And Nogan, remarkably, has scored his 5th goal in the competition already.
What a lovely goal as well, wasn't it, on the break. That's a beautiful side foot finish as well.
3 minutes for the end. Jimmy Case has already been booked, took too long taking a corner. Out came the red card, so a sad and avoidable end to the night for the league's oldest professional. He looks like missing the 3rd round.
Redfern, who obviously fancies the occasion, Redfern, and again he's got his shooting boots on. Redfern again relishing the occasion, and again when he's given the room to attack that space in front of the 18-yard box, can let fly. Barnsley once again pressing forward, and Srnicek forced to pull out the save there from Nicky Eden. Nicky Eden, who's been so quick to support, and fancying a go himself, and why not? Pottinger moving forward, good run this for Lee, and back for Cole. There we go again, Andy Cole just keeps on knocking them in. There was Cole, and Eden on the line couldn't keep it out. And now it's Cole turning, and Kitson and Lee! Great work by the keeper, and Lee, how typically, was following in and wasted no time with the shot. Cole, a tricky turn, Kitson was there, but it ran further for Lee, and he placed it, and Watson shot up a hand. Kitson forward for Lee! Lee! Just the wrong side of the upright. Lee on the burst again. They've got the extra man. Lee, Cole, not this time. Cole, quite taken in his stride as he might have wanted.
Well, Wimbledon won again at Torquay United. The goal from Dean Holdsworth, 3-0 on aggregate. George Graham rested Wright, Adams, Smith and Merson, who got the 5 goals at Hartlepool in the first leg, and it was hard work for their replacements. Kevin Campbell finally broke through 10 minutes from the end. And in the final seconds, almost a repeat performance. Another corner. Again, Steve Boll gets the assist. And this time it's Paul Dickov celebrating a rare run-out in the first team. Arsenal through 7-0 on aggregate. Well, Queen's Park Rangers' 1-0 win at Carlisle was one of the better results by a Premiership club in the first leg. Within 8 minutes they doubled that lead thanks to some sloppy defending and the goal-scoring instincts of Bradley Allen. Well, Carlisle, who lead the 3rd Division, did have their moments, but only after the tie was well beyond them. Andy Impey's dummy baffles Simon Davey. Down goes Trevor Sinclair, no doubt about the penalty. Clive Wilson knocks it in, and smooth as you like, Rangers are into round 3. Well, like Mansfield Town, Barnet needed lightning to strike twice. They made it beyond half-time, only for Gary Phillips to parry a shot straight to Niall Quinn. If City thought they'd done the hard work, a minute later, deadly Dougie Freedman, the match winner at Underhill, maintains his record of a goal in every Coca-Cola Cup game. But the decisive performance came from City's Paul Walsh. His glancing header levels the tie on aggregate. And Barnet were hanging on for extra time, but they couldn't contain Walsh. On it goes to Steve Lomas, and Nicky Summerby puts City in front in the tie for the first time. And for the first time, the difference between the divisions is evident. 2 minutes from the end, Niall Quinn gets his second. 4-1, 4-2 on aggregate.
Well, we had Mansfield last night beating Leeds, and now we've got Brighton, just the two clubs from out the top two divisions going through. And what a goal from Stuart Mundy.
Well, that was a lovely goal, wasn't it? The opening goal there for Brighton. I mean, our producer, as you know, is a great Brighton fan, and he'd be delighted with this one.
It's the reason it's in.
Oh, man, that's the only reason it's in. I mean, but it was a cracker, wasn't it? Lovely. That set him up in a good mood for the night.
Yeah. Well, you can just see how difficult it is there. From the goalkeeping point of view, at least.
No chance, Bobby.
No. If you're off, you're off. You're off. Don't you think that Jimmy Case sending off was...
Well, Jimmy, as you know, is a bit deaf. He's deaf, and he probably didn't hear the referee shouting, "Hurry up, Case," you know, or blowing his whistle at him. I mean, he was laughing, Jimmy, because it's 2 minutes to go.
It was over, wasn't it?
3 up.
Yeah.
I mean, can you believe it? How trivial some referees are. And there's a lad might miss the next game. You know,
that's a shame.
Terrible.
Another man who grabbed the headlines tonight, Ian, Matthew Le Tissier, staking a claim for a place in Terry Venable's team from the start next week against Romania. I mean, that was the penalty which set him going. He'd already scored, of course, in the first leg at Huddersfield, but then 3 in the second half here, Ian. Well, this is the first we've seen of them.
Oh, I mean, he is such a talent, this boy, and surely to goodness, you know, he has got to start for England in the next game. I mean, Terry is a man who loves skill. He always talks about skill. Now, this boy is the most skillful player in the Football League. I mean, as you say, we haven't seen this, but there you go, look at that, sticking it in from there. He scored goals, as Alan Ball was saying on television the other day. He scored great goals that other players can't score. You know, the impossible efforts, and he gets them.
So you really would say, Ian, that you would suggest that the game would be a good game, the Romanian game, to put him in. I think he's been on as substitute before, but it would be his first full game.
They have got to get him in now. I mean, you know, England have got to get a team for 2 years down the line for the European Championships. And it's people like him. I mean, he's doing what Klinsmann is doing for Tottenham, isn't he? And what Klinsmann does for Germany. This boy has got so many tricks, he's got so many skills. I mean, he's just a joy to watch. He must play at the top level.
I think Alan Ball might be getting the best out of him, you know, Ball's enthusiasm.
Of course he is, of course, because the lad wants to play now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's desperate to show Alan Ball just how good he is. And that's great, because the last manager really, you know, I don't think I gave him due praise, did he?
Good for Southampton and good for England, I think. And now don't forget the draw for the third round. That's going to be known first on this channel around 7:20 tomorrow morning. It's live on GMTV. But now, a roundup of all tonight's results with Gabriel.
In the Coca-Cola Cup second round, second leg, Arsenal 2, Hartlepool 0. Arsenal wins 7-0 on aggregate. Barnsley 0, Newcastle United